morning. Good, good. Oh, absolutely. Couldn't ask for a better day. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, I'm Patrick.
I'm Robert.
Good to meet you.
Same here.
There's a card for you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Right.
Cool, yeah, we'll let you know half hour, 40 minutes or so.
Thank you.
So, thanks.
Thank you.
I wish I could get away with rocking one of those. I bought a used Mercedes SUV.
Did you?
I pulled up to job sites and like there's only a few neighborhoods I can get away with it because it's like you pull up and they're like, your bid's gonna be way too high, and they're automatically thinking it's gonna be
Yeah.
out of control. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is the east side, so it should be fairly well protected. Everything is pretty wind driven from the back. You're looking at gutters while we're up front. Some good ones for you. That should be pretty well protected. Yeah, there was definitely some mechanical on that, so. It's kind of nice with the being able to have it hear you talking.
Yeah. Well, it spells everything.
Yeah, I've got it on one of the apps that we use, but I don't really use it very often. Let me find a couple more higher up. There's one up there. Good stuff on the back, and then these two sides just had slanting.
Hits.
There's one up higher. There's another one up. Where'd that go? There's another one up high, I think, right? Yeah, right there.
That's mechanical there. That's got a point to it. It's small. And
Yeah,
sharp.
maybe it might be a BB or something, I guess. Be hard to dispute, I guess. I'm a realist, I don't argue with logic. Find a couple more good ones, that's too big. Like that right there. There's a little guy. There's another one right there. I don't know if my chalk will reach. Ugh. A little tiny guy. Happy to grab a ladder too if you want me to keep going higher.
No, we don't go up there.
Okay.
Right elevation here. Rear elevation.
I can shine it for you if you want. Yes, looks like it. We got a couple little ones. So. That's looks all right. Yeah. I think those are the dog-proof ones.
Rear elevation.
That's hard to say. There was very sporadic 2-inch in this area. Mostly about 1.25 inches. A little bit, what is that, south? A little bit south of here, a couple miles south. It was huge. 2.25. Mostly rural though. Too bad it wasn't a couple miles west, or it would have been a real good storm. I actually had to buy the metal roof cougar paws.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen those?
No.
They're pretty much like perfectly smooth, and there's magnets in the bottom of them.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
That's handy.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't done too many metal ones in the past, but this storm, with it being so rural, there's a ton of them. Side looks pretty clean.
Saw a mechanical back there, but I didn't see anything around.
Where at?
Down here about.
Oh, right by the meter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. You said I'm a realist, I don't try not to point out bullshit. I'm human, I make mistakes from time to time. And do not do it intentionally. I know that can be kind of a rarity out here.
Very much so.
The closer you get to Chicago, the crazier it gets. Even like guys doing repairs and stuff do garbage work. A lot of times I've heard of people doing like in Chicago, there's like the little bungalows that you only have like 3 foot of walkway.
Yeah.
I've heard of guys actually just replacing like 6 feet up, throwing the shingles down and leaving the rest of the roof, and crazy stuff like that because they know people can't see it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous what people are okay with doing. You're welcome to use this if you'd like.
I'll go ahead and grab
Okay. Yep. I've never stolen one out from under anyone yet. Really?
Yep, reckless endangerment.
I mean, I guess it probably always has been. They probably just classified it that way now.
Yeah.
Even, well, normally it's all say that it happens, but even when they zero it out, I still make sure everyone gets down safely and.
Yeah. You're bound to meet them on another roof somewhere.
Very rarely. I mean, I'd say it's rare nowadays that I do. I used to see the same ones all the time. But yeah, it's very rare. But either way, it's still the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
And whether it's from them or not, I still believe in karma, so
Yeah.
it's gonna come back to bite me one way or another if I'm a dick.
that or it's gonna be mine.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not trying to get sued, so.
Another can of worms you don't need.
Yep. Is that one gonna actually chalk? Without scratching it. I think it will. Guess I could have just shined the light down there for you. I'll find you another one. There was enough.
Siphon on the lip would be ideal.
Yep. Yeah, the way I look at it, when we were just thinking mathematically, there's a heck of a lot more surface area on the bottom of the pan. And it actually is a thinner metal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I might have to lean over on that one. There's another one with some spatter in it too. It's right up against the backside, like against the drip edge.
I don't feel any deformity.
Really? Okay. I'll believe
You
you.
got that one down there.
All right.
So
Fair enough.
I'm not gonna stress too much over it. On the other one.
Yeah, I normally don't look from above. I just shine it from the bottom, and it seems to be the easiest. Where did I just see that other one? Oh, that was a good one. This backside should be easy. The sun's agreeing with us. Oh God. Like I see them, they just don't want to chalk. There's a good one. I'm not going to chalk that one because the last one I chalked and messed up. Right on the top lip. Yeah, here's another good one.
The left we might have to do from the bottom. 'Cause I
Okay.
don't see anything.
Yeah, with all those leaves in there, that makes sense. Seven total on those slant backs.
Didn't get much my hair. Don't see too many of those tiny ones anymore. No.
Yeah, the back and the left are the two good sides. The other ones are iffy. You're okay if I put polka dots off to the side?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I'll have that one. I assume he's looking for Hague definition.
Yeah.
Okay. Cracked mat, bedded granules. Granule loss sufficient to expose underlying bitumen. I assume that triangle means you're not a fan of them.
No, it means you marked them, I didn't.
Yep. Tomato, potato, right?
No, not necessarily.
Keep going back to a couple of those, but then they're weird looking. How are you? Living the dream.
Oh, yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's the magic number these days?
8.
8? Alright, I'll find you 2 more. Who is the carrier? Oh, they've been awesome to deal with recently. Alright, one more, just so we have a couple. Gosh, keep going back to these, they look so messed up. That looks good. That's 11. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Going a little bit up and to the right. And then one more down by the gutter line. It's actually two of them there, so it's kind of a pick your favorite.
So,
Do you want to see any of those through the jeweler's loop magnifier? I didn't find much on this side either. It was really the rear and then that side. The rear's got the best, obviously.
oh, that one.
What the heck's going on with that one? Tree branch or something before? There's a lot more on this side that kind of look like some of those ones I skipped on the left. think I found one you have to like. So. That one. Hit that laminate edge and then hit the shingle below it.
Lots of fibers, though.
What's that?
Lots of fibers, though.
Yeah. Can't fracture the mat without exposing it, right? I mean, all the bitumen is nice and shiny and black as you would expect it to be if it was recently exposed. Friesen Haig says fracture of the reinforcing mat, granule loss sufficient to expose underlying bitumen. So if the mat is going to be fractured, it's going to leave it exposed. Bruise will be felt as an indentation. So that light's only shining through right where that bruise is. Does it go back to the desk for them to look at it then to determine, or?
No.
Oh, gotcha.
I'll pull a hail report, see what size was here.
Sure. Core Logic or?
Huh?
Core Logic normally?
A benchmark.
Okay. That stuff is rock solid. I think it is worth feeling because that stuff, I mean, it's not unsupported or soft like a lot of them are. Stuff is rock solid. actually. So, like, here's the only real unsupported edge, and that one's got a nice crack right in the middle of it. Right where that ridge ties into the main part right there, like right in the center. Yep. So it's like the only actual soft spot, and actually, you know, if you actually push, that's super cracked right there.
Let's see if we can get this better. And,
That one or the one on the other side?
oh, sorry, yeah, this one.
Okay.
Yeah, we got
So what would be the threshold size we see on the map that would make you think those triangles are good?
Well, I gotta see at least 1 3/4.
That big, huh?
Yeah.
Is that like,
Policy says you're 12 years old, so it's not too bad as far
Right.
as age.
is inch and three? There's one right there. Is inch and 3/4 like a policy thing or a guideline or?
Just, yeah, you know, 1 3/4. It's about the size it takes to start. Gotta be at least that big to start damage to a shingle.
Haig says 1 inch.
Just, right gutter damage right here.
Cool.
There's good hits on the siding, so
Yep.
that's not a problem. The
Yep.
gutters aren't a problem.
Yeah, no, I'm not, like I said, I'm not
Yeah,
arguing.
yeah.
You know, I just want to know where you're, you know, everyone's different. You know, we get 10 adjusters out here, going to get 8 different opinions on what's what.
Yep.
So I always just like to ask questions and try to further educate myself. And I pull up any books people are referencing. So like when it comes to like Haig, I'm certified. I read all that stuff. I read all the Donan engineering reports. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm a total nerd when it comes to that stuff. So,
All that.
no. Awesome. I'm gonna probably jump up and snap some more photos and all that good stuff for myself. So awesome. Be safe out there.
You too, Patrick. I'll knock on their door and
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll let him know what I'm up to as well while you're
yeah.
talking to him.
Hello.
Sorry.
That's okay.
How's it going?
Good. It's getting warm.
Yeah.
So there's good hits on the aluminum siding, a few on the downspouts. Your gutters have hits. He pointed out some things on the shingles, on the back and the left side here, just from above us and the rear. So I'm going to pull a hail report and see how big the hail was in the area. Your policy has a cosmetic exclusion for shingles up, so metals and because the metals had hits on them.
Yep.
But your vents up there, they basically have to be flat before they're considered damaged.
Oh, okay.
They don't look nice, but they're still doing their job. So that's the difference between functional damage and cosmetic damage.
Got it. Okay.
So let me pull a hail report and see how big the hail was, because according to your policy, it actually has to crack the matting so that there's actually water intrusion into the dwelling right now while we're standing looking at it. And while an argument could be made that those were hail, the matting underneath wasn't fractured, wasn't cracked, it was still intact.
Okay.
He pointed out one or two, and I took good pictures, so I'll blow them up on the computer screen and see. If I can do anything for you on the shingles, I will.
Okay.
But your policy kind of is limiting as far as it has to be pretty
Okay.
bad before.
Do you have a copy of your policy? Might be something.
He
Be beneficial to ask for it.
Yeah, he might have a digital.
Yeah, and not a big deal. If not, you should ask for it, just so at least you always know what it says.
Sorry. That's all right. So I was just explaining the siding and the downspouts and the gutters.
Hey, buddy.
You got some hits on those.
Mhm.
Your policy has cosmetic exclusions for shingles up on the roof. So the box vents up there have a few hits on them, but they're not big hits. But they're still functional. They're still venting your house. So that's the difference between cosmetic damage and functional damage. So the vents I can't pay for unless the roof is damaged as well. So I'm going to pull a hail report, see how big the hail was, because your policy has it delineates cosmetic and functional. So the matting underneath the shingle has to be cracked as well. You can't just have granules displaced. Hail can hit and
Absolutely.
move some granules around, but the matting underneath, is still intact. There's no fracture where water is actually getting in while we're standing here talking about it and looking at it. So I'll pull a report, see the size, and go from there. But
Perfect.
the siding I don't think is a problem at all, and your gutters have hits in them and a few downspouts, not all of them, but a few of them. So, but your roof's 12 years old, so it's still in the first half of its life. About 15 to 20 is when you start seeing, because it's a 30-year shingle.
Oh,
so,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
And that makes sense.
so they're designed to kind of withstand the elements. That's the whole purpose. So until it gets into the last half of its life, it's pretty solid. Holds up to weather. That's what it's designed to do. But if there's anything that I can do for you, I will on the roof. But the other stuff is no brainer.
Is good. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Perfect.
Thank you for your time.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
for
Have a good
coming
one.
out.
You too.
Awesome.
Patrick,
Be safe
thank
out
you.
there.
You
Yep.
too.
I'll see you soon.
Yep.
So, awesome. I'm gonna go up and snap some additional photos, just because I didn't take a ton. And that way, I'm gonna actually kind of zoom in with my magnifying glass, really get really in close and kind of see what we're looking at.
Okay.
If you don't have a copy of your policy, I would recommend probably asking for it.
Okay.
So I think, based off of the conversation, I think it's going to come back and say probably nothing on the roof. That being said, we kind of disagree on for one, I think he's kind of just pulling, verbiage out of a hat as far as like what your policy actually says. So it makes sense to actually have that. It probably says you have a cosmetic exclusion. Guaranteed it says nothing about having to be fractured and allowing water into the house.
Okay.
And then there's like third-party engineering studies that I would reference as far as like, that's one of the things we talked about up there is what is our definition of hail damage? Are we looking for what Hague Engineering says is the definition? He goes, yep, that's exactly what we're looking for. So I'm Hague certified, so a lot of adjusters are. Really, it's a 12-hour YouTube video of like, you watch these videos and you take a test at the end and we're Hague certified, and they like to hold that like it's the Bible and like, oh yeah, So I'm like, yeah, I watched the videos on a Saturday too, while I was doing paperwork and other shit. Yeah, I'm certified too.
Yeah.
But they always seem to remember like there's the definition from Hague Engineering is fracture of the reinforcing mat, which is what he's saying, or granule loss sufficient to expose the underlying bitumen, meaning the little black spots is the underlying bitumen. So when he's saying granule loss isn't damage, they always forget that last half of the thing. So that's where I think for now, it'll just be like a paperwork thing where he's going to submit his report and say, he pretty much said if the hail is 1 3/4 on the map, he's just going to write for it. If it's less than 1 3/4, then it probably didn't cause damage. So it's like very subjective and not really, no science or no facts behind it. It's, well, if the hail says this, then, or if the map says this, then I agree this is all damage. Which makes, so he like marks like, he's marking triangles. If he's saying 100% for sure this is hail damage, he's going to put a circle on it. If he puts a triangle on it, that means I'm not really sure what I'm calling this yet. And then they write like he's got like wind equals 0, meaning we don't find any wind damage. Hail equals nothing, So he's not calling it 0. He's not calling it the Yolepan that have triangles on it. He's leaving it as like, I'm going to go back and do some research and see what the hail map says and look at the photos and decide what I'm going to call it, which is like, goes against everything that's like taught in adjusters. Like we should be able to, right now today, look at this thing and say, what is here? You know, what are we paying for? What is damage? So to go back and look at a computer and look at the maps and then decide, was it really hail damage or was it not, is kind of hokey. So, so I'd recommend pull up the policy if you got it, forward it over if you have it. I'll read it, and then I'd like to just like know that exact exclusion language because I'm going to put together a report today, and the goal is, so I don't think he actually works for NetGen. He's just an independent adjuster. So he'll turn his report in the next 3 or 4 or 5 days, and I'd like to have one like hitting the adjuster's desk at the exact same time.
Okay.
So that he's going to look at his, he's going to see the triangles up there, he's going to see this like, well, I'm not really sure what this is or isn't, and I'll word my report properly so that it's referencing the language in your policy correctly. I'm going to reference the Hague Engineering studies and like, you know, so I'd like to just hit him with facts. So here's what Hague Engineering says, here's what Donan Engineering says, here's what State Farm says what hail damage is, here's what Owens Corning, a major shingle manufacturer, says. So I'll hit him with like 4 definitions from like, you know, we got manufacturer's definition of damage, engineering firms who pretty much work for the insurance companies and designed a hail gun to determine what is and isn't damage. Here's what actual insurance company says. And just hit them with a bunch of independent, you know, definitions that all agree, you know, as far as what the threshold is, and then show the photos of like, this is all in line with like what all these independents say. Here's the photos, here's the proof, and just kind of overwhelm them with photos and facts.
Perfect. Yeah, sounds great.
So yeah, so your only homework, I'd say pull up the policy. If you don't have a copy, you should be able to find it like on your portal or whatever. Email it over. It'll take me like
Portal.
3 minutes. Really?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them are. They're not made to like.
Make things easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if they owe you money, why would they want to make it just like, hey, check it out? Yeah, you know.
What's up? Yeah, buddy.
What do you got? Are you looking at a leaf?
Did you want to look at the spider?
Uh oh. So yeah, so I mean, I'd say that's the only homework for now. Pull up the policy. You know, I'll read it, and then in the meantime, I'll prepare everything else I need. But I would just like to have that actual language that he's saying, because I know for sure. I've read cosmetic exclusions, and they normally say cosmetic damage isn't covered. They don't define it. They don't say anything else. So you know, we'll use the other independent studies like to define what is and isn't cosmetic.
Yeah, I'll go see if I can find it now.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to take about 10 minutes and get up there and really take some really detailed photos of everything that he marked. I'm going to pull up
Have
my
your shoes on, guy.
like magnifying glass and like take like super zoomed up photos through that. Well, because the goal is like we're going to prove what's up there and not leave it up to like he's got his iPad and he's taking photos like this,
my gosh.
like and half in the shadow. So like if he's taking pictures of this, like he's got his shadow in the way and he's taking a photo from here and it's like
That's a
when you look at that on the computer, well, anytime you have shadows, half and half shadows, it totally washes out the photo. So like if you're all in the shadow, that's fine. So like if I'm taking a photo of that, I'm gonna like get in the shadow, you know, so the lighting's consistent. Yeah.
Make sure it's clear.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just gonna make sure that I have everything I need. So
I know,
it's,
right?
but that's, I mean, it's par for the course for these guys. You know, like they're not out here trying to spend every single penny that they can. You know, they're out here trying to like, what is exactly obvious? What do I have to like pay today? What can the homeowners see for themselves? You know, but yeah.
I got a question. You
Sure.
said that there was there's if they do the roof.
Yep.
That it can't end up with something that would improve or make the value of the house more.
They won't pay for anything that's better, but you can absolutely do upgrades.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted to do an overhang on the back.
Okay.
I don't know what that's gonna be like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can set you up with like a carpenter or whatever to give you a kind of a price on that stuff. But yeah, you can absolutely do that. The one thing would be is you'd have to call them afterwards and say, hey, you know, we added this overhang. If it adds value to the house, you'd want to make sure that that's reflected in your premiums. Because that's the biggest thing is if like you build an addition, that's not going to be insured unless you let them know, hey, the value of the house has gone up.
Okay.
You know, so that's really what it comes down to.
You got it.
But you can definitely upgrade or do any of that stuff in the meantime. You just have to notify them if it made a significant change.
Okay.
So
It was a question because if we're already doing the roof,
Yeah.
then that would be a part of it.
yeah, I mean it's a lot cheaper to do it all at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
Oh, watch out, because the spider's web goes right
Wow,
through
it
the
does
door.
go right
Oh,
through.
nice.
Yeah. You see this thing?
No, I didn't.
Look at it.
A high spider?
Yeah.
What is
it's
it?
Charlotte.
It's
Look
an
at-
orb weaver spider.
Holy cow. Those things actually look really cool in the sun.
Right?
I had one on my gutter trailer and it was like bright orange in the sun.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, it was
All right,
awesome.
come here.
Right, right. Yeah, it looks sketchy though. But cool, yeah, so I'll take 10 more minutes up there, snap in some photos. Like I said, if you find the policy, send it over. You have my email, right? Maybe, maybe
So
not.
If I don't, I know we have your card.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's on the
your
card.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh, I have your folder for you that
Okay.
we were supposed to give them.
Oh,
I had told them about
Yeah.
you, and then they were like,
See
"Oh
if I can find it.
no."
oh,
And
really?
then- yeah.
I thought you guys told them for sure. I guess they saw the sign or whatever, and they called.
Well,
So
I talked to their daughter.
yeah,
And she was like, "Oh yeah, this makes total sense.
Right.
Like if you guys can get anything covered by
Right.
insurance, go for it."
yeah, and they were super happy. They've got they do have a policy that only pays for like partial of the roof, but we knew that in advance, and they're super happy. They're like, only 10 grand. Whoa, only 10 grand for the roof and siding. They were super. You are way too brave, bud.
Yes.
That looks like stitches waiting to happen. You're gonna end up getting your arm broken just like your sister.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Yeah, no,
But-
they were very happy with you.
Yeah.
And, well, I know him. He's a
Right.
nice guy.
Right,
Like if you want somebody that you can trust.
right,
So.
right. Yeah, they seemed happy. So I guess they had like a friend of a friend of a friend or something who was supposed to come over, and they're like, yeah, no, we're done.
Yeah,
we don't wanna wait for him,
That's
so-
how he was.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh no."
Yeah, I know. Then
Like,
then
okay.
afterwards, as soon as they heard the spiel, they're like, "Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. Let's go." But that's how most people are, Like they get sick that trucks are lining down the block and people are beating on the door.
Yeah.
But after about 2 weeks, they finally realize, like, okay, like once they start seeing that, okay, this person's approved, that person's approved, work gets going, they realize that like, it's worth pursuing. And like I don't feel bad, like I know it annoys people sometimes, but I'm like, I'm here to get you a $50,000 check to fix your house. Like, I don't feel bad that I interrupted your dinner.
Yeah.
So, but
Yep, it's worth it. There,
More spiders?
There's more spiders down over there.
oh, you know where they're all at, huh?
We checked them out this
Nice.
morning.
Oh, nice. So,
So
cool.
yeah, I have the folder here.
yeah,
Whenever you're
yeah. If you want to throw it out,
done.
yeah, or I can knock when I'm done. So, but yeah, 10 minutes up there, taking a bunch of photos. So, absolutely. Bye. All right, he said he couldn't make a determination of hail until he pulled the map. And if the map showed 1.75 inch hail, that he agreed that all of this was damage. Which is very, very odd. That being said, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 unsure designations in this 10 by 10 box. And this one is great because it hit the laminate edge above it, and the energy proceeded down in the shingle below it. So there's the edge that was impacted. There's the shingle below it impacted as well. And again, going back to this one because it's a perfect example of an undisputable hit.